It's 7 cards, right?
I think so. I haven't played Uno, so
I don't know. Yeah. My kids usually deal, and I don't even know if they're following the rules.
probably not.
How old are your kids?
So we have 4.
Okay.
We have 4. We have a high school senior, a 5th grader, 2nd grader, and a kindergartner.
Okay.
Yeah. So the 2 little ones still like Uno. We got our range. I got some cards, man.
You got some cards?
Yeah, I feel sorry for you all.
Oh no.
Probably are all playing 3 different games.
Yeah, I'm not completely sure. You're right.
That would be like kind of unfair if they gave us like 3 different games and they were like,
Yeah.
Well, I mean in terms of like what we think the rules are. Oh yeah.
Wait, but somebody went.
No, you have to start off with something.
Oh.
See, we don't know how to play.
And then I can go.
I feel old now.
And then I can go.
Yeah,
All
you can go.
Let's go.
You
See that? You see what I just did?
Oh man.
Is it your turn or my turn?
Yeah, what's the pull rule? Do I have to keep pulling until I find something? Is that how it works? Oh, bam,
Yeah,
lucky
That's
day.
fine.
Really? That's what you do? You pull
Yes,
until
you
you find
pull.
something?
Is that how you get all those cards? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so first question as we're playing
All right.
is describe your current book as a reality TV show, which can't be too hard.
Describe my current. Well, okay. So one of the books I'm working on now is actually a nonfiction book, so
Ooh.
it kind of is a reality
Okay.
TV show.
Nice.
Can you tell us about
I'm doing a nonfiction book about a high school basketball team that I followed for a season.
it? Okay.
The 2014-15 season, and they're the Bishop O'Dowd Dragons. It's a Catholic school out of Oakland, California.
Cool name.
It's a cool
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't pick the mascot. I
Still.
kind of lucked out. It would have been sucky if they were like the, I don't know, Badgers or something. No offense if your school's mascot is the Badgers.
Or like the quintessential Wildcats.
Yes, the quintessential Wildcat.
Oh, girl.
Tigers.
You keep getting
Dinged
messed
over
up.
here. I know. It's not looking
your
good.
turn.
Oh, it's my turn
Oh.
again. Thanks,
She
Maya.
probably has like all of them.
So is that a
Every
good
card.
thing to get it reversed
Yeah,
to
'cause
you?
I get a chance.
Yeah, she has a chance to
Oh.
put more.
Okay, so it's me. It's me.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Is this Drake? Is this the one that I can
This is
do?
a hard thing to do, to like talk and also try to win a game.
It is.
To make my own card?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so if you could be any character in your books, which one of any book you've ever written, which character would you be and why?
Well, I mean, I think it would be the Monkey King because he can almost do anything. He has the biggest. Why did you only put 4 if you could do whatever you want? Why did
I
you
don't
just
know,
do
could've
like
been
plus 1,000?
The whole deck.
I feel like you're
Plus
not.
the deck.
You're gonna apply.
Really
Yeah.
bad for her.
Yeah.
She's got, like,
Yeah.
already
You
got
took
already got like
Wait,
100 cards.
But how, oh, you got to call the
Yeah.
color, and what'd you call?
Take your selection
green.
to the circulation desk.
You called green.
I'm gonna call green.
Okay.
Do I play? No, I don't go again. That was my turn, was to pull.
So it's green.
Oh,
So
really?
you're putting green.
So you don't pull until you can play.
Yeah,
She has to take 4 and then.
that was my turn.
That was her turn. Yeah.
Oh,
must
I
have
see.
been.
I see.
Thank you.
I see.
That's what we say now.
So you totally could have been. Okay, so then look at that. Look at that. I revenged you.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
What's the color?
Oh, I get to choose? Yellow.
Yellow. And I have that, Monkey King.
That's right. All right.
ooh, 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 ooh.
Oh, I'm not happy about that. Oh, but go on.
Is it my
say
turn?
that.
Okay, so
I have no Uno face. Okay, so now I have to keep pulling until I get one?
yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to call Uno because you have 1 card.
Oh, Uno. But I mean, it's not Uno anymore.
It's not.
Wait, what happens?
We don't know how to play.
Gosh, I'm getting screwed. I was so close to winning, and look at this. Can you put like
Yes,
2
you can put
threes?
like
Any
any
other
other on
size.
top. Yeah.
Oh, but you can't do like 2 threes. You can't
No,
go. You can't
no,
go math.
There's not addition
like
in Uno.
this.
It's not a
Uno,
Oh.
1 card.
Oh my gosh! Who shuffled? Look at this! Holy crap! It's never ending.
The media scores. That's what we have to
Okay,
believe.
finally. Oh my gosh!
I didn't even know.
I took half the deck.
But you also realize that at this point, like, no other author's ever going to play with us because they were like, we lose.
Yeah, I was so close to winning. I was
It's
like,
so sad.
I tasted it in my mouth. I tasted victory in my mouth, and then
Is
it
it my
was
turn?
over.
Yes.
Okay.
So speaking of victory, and you have a book about basketball, so you get to play a 3-on-3 pickup game. Pick 2 other authors that you would pick on your team.
Do I have to pick me though?
You're
Can
one.
I pick? Can I pick?
You want to
Like, I
coach?
would not. Yeah, I would not pick me. I sucked at basketball. I mean,
But you're so tall.
No, I sucked at basketball. I sucked. And that was the worst thing. In my little Asian American community, I was definitely on the taller side, and that's the worst. Like when you're tall and you don't have the coordination, people always ask. Or like when you
So
go
you're
and play
the first
pickup,
one to like get picked.
and then they're like, "Oh my god,
They're like, never mind."
that was a mistake." Yeah,
Then you're
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so you can pick 3 people, not you, and you'll just coach. Who's on
3
that
people.
team?
Well, clearly Matt LaPena, because he played all the way through college. He played against Steve Nash. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, and that's why he wrote that. That's why he wrote that book, Ball Don't Lie. It was based on his experiences on the court.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
don't
so
have to
he's
put Matt on
clear.
your team.
And I don't know if Kwame did a book about basketball, but I don't know if he actually plays.
Oh, I think
I don't know.
I've
Does he
been
actually
seeing
play?
him on Insta stories. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah.
May I have your attention, please?
He plays at least.
Does he really?
I don't know.
Will be
Yeah.
He seems to know enough about
Yeah, I'm
basketball.
gonna go with Kate DiCamillo as my second one.
KD Camille,
Because I
she's
feel
tough.
like, I feel like she surprises you, right? You look at her and you think she's not gonna go anywhere, but I bet she could shoot like crazy threes.
Yes,
I bet
exactly.
She's like, she's like Minnesotan Steph Curry. That's my guess about her.
I like it. Kimberly, I think it's your
Is it my turn? Let's see. I got so many cards.
Oh, that's like me. That's like
It's my
me.
So while
choice.
she's thinking,
Okay.
I have a question.
All right.
So, being a children's ambassador, for 2 years, you probably have some really awesome stories. But I want to know what has been your favorite lesson learned from a child.
My favorite lesson learned from a child. I think the thing that impressed me most, getting to talk to kids all over, is just like a sheer enthusiasm and lack of fear. And that was all over. Like kids would come up and they would show me their art. There was no sort of, almost always, there was no sort of self-consciousness or, and that was amazing. And also like we did this challenge called the Reading Without Walls challenge that I promoted. And there was never a kid that was like, I don't want to do that. That sounds too hard. They all like embraced it with such enthusiasm. I think I have this voice in my head. I don't think it's just me. I think a lot of authors have it that constantly tells me that I suck.
Not good enough.
You suck.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of those kids
Don't have that.
don't have it,
No.
which is nice
Should
to see.
all be more like those kids.
Man,
That is a good lesson.
Yeah, right.
we could learn a lot from the kids.
Yeah. Okay, so
That's
is it my turn?
It's your
I
turn.
think
So speaking of fear, check this out.
Oh, you skipped me.
That's right. You see
Yeah.
that? You see how I did
And
that?
Because they're all like scared because I have only so many cards.
Exactly.
Well, I'm gonna skip you.
Oh, that was rough.
Kimberly.
That was rough.
Aw, man. So you have a giant megaphone.
Okay, watch this though.
Ooh, burn. Two do it.
Okay, up on me.
You have a giant megaphone that you are going to say 3 sentences. So we'll give you time to think about this one.
Oh, man.
And the entire world hears it. What are the
Here's 3 sentences.
3
That's
sentences?
a lot of pressure.
It is. So we'll play
This would
around
be
while you think about
literally
it.
the hardest question I think we'll ever ask anyone.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to do that for that. That's for the question. That was for the question.
She asked it.
But you came up with it. I know you helped come up with that.
She did.
Okay. But it feels like I'm picking on you, but I swear I had no choice.
Pick on her.
Okay, so one of the
that's
things
it.
I feel like is obvious, because I also have a little bit of self-interest in this, is read more books.
That's a good one.
Yeah, as an author, I get how that's a little
You gotta
bit
like get
selfish.
that out of the way.
Yeah, clearly.
Then you're like,
clearly. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to get it out of the way.
Favorite book you're reading right now?
Well, a lot of what I'm reading right now is for research.
Okay.
So I'm doing a book about, it's called Superman Smashes the Klan. It's about Superman going up against the KKK in the 1940s. Wow. So I've been reading a lot. Like I just finished a book called The Second Coming of the KKK by Linda Gordon, which is awesome. It was an amazing nonfiction book. And then on the plane right here, I was reading these radio plays, these Superman radio plays from the 1940s, just because I want to get a sense of the language. The last book where I finished, it was maybe a month ago. I read this book for blurbing. Just saying, I get the blurb. But it's amazing. It's called I Am Oak. It's by I think it might be her debut book. It's an author named Patty Kim.
Oh, look her up.
Yeah, it was really good. It was amazing. She just has this amazing voice. That so the protagonist is this young Korean American boy growing up in a Korean American church, and I'm not Korean American. My wife is Korean American. That church, she nailed it. She nailed it, and then he loses his dad, and it's about that. But I think the thing that's awesome about that book is she is able to inject humor into this situation that has a lot of tragedy. Like the voice is so funny, even though what she's talking about is so hard.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, my son and I are following a lot of monthly comics too. We're reading Mr. Miracle, which I think is one of the best comics.
I'm just getting into
right
comics and graphic novels, so give me all the recommendations.
Okay, yeah,
she's
that was by
obsessed with
Tom
graphic
King.
novels right
And
now.
that's it's definitely YA adult.
Okay.
Like that book has got some violence in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's into it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
right now, I'm reading The Wicked and the Divine and
May I have your attention, please?
Saga.
The library
Yeah, Saga's great.
will be
Yeah.
Saga's
closing
great.
It's pretty.
in 5
We're reading
minutes.
Mariko Tamaki's She-Hulk too.
Okay.
Mariko Tamaki. Yeah, she's right.
Circulation desk.
Be Prepared by Vera Roswell is also amazing. You know,
I'm gonna get a list from you by then.
okay.
Whose turn is it though?
I think it's Jean's turn.
Okay.
Is it my turn? Is it my turn? Okay. Wait, so is it going this way?
Yeah, I think it's going this way now. It's
It's going this way.
reversed
Okay,
with yours.
okay. Check
Yeah.
that out. Check that out.
Oh man, it's your
Check
turn.
that out.
Change the color.
Change the color. Why you gotta do that?
That's what I had in my hand. I'm starting to get rid of some of those 10 million cards that I
Yeah.
pulled.
Okay. Here we go. Oh, look at that.
Oh, bam, first time. I got plenty of cards. Let's just change the color again.
Okay. Here's my second sentence. Uno is a terrible game. That's my second sentence.
It's really tough.
Yeah.
Read more books.
Yeah. Read more books, and Uno is a terrible game. Yeah.
Well, because Uno is manual, right? So, but you have talked a lot about like technology, especially in some of your middle grade stuff, like coding and stuff like that. So since your books intertwine a lot of technology in them, how do you feel technology has affected kids and reading?
Like the literary world.
Yeah, I mean, I hear anecdotally from school librarians that it seems like kids these days have much more competition for their attention. There's a lot of stuff competing for their attention, and there is
Like pulling two cards.
Look at that. Jeez. All right, let's see if I can revenge. Let's see if I can.
There's no
revenge.
coming back from this.
I can't. Revenge.
Is anyone ever going to win?
I
I'm
can't
certain
revenge.
we're playing this
I can't
game.
revenge. I know. See, my second sentence is so appropriate. Yeah, so I hear that, and I think there's some legitimacy to some of those fears, but at the same time, I do think there's a way that technology can dovetail reading. You know, and I'm not just talking about like Kindle and stuff. I'm talking about like
39 clues.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
or just authors being able to connect to readers directly. I think is really awesome. I kind of think, you know, as a comic book guy, I kind of think there are aspects of comic book culture that are becoming more widespread within book culture
Because of
in
worldwide
general.
communication.
Yeah, like comics, it has always been like the communication between the reader and the creator has always been there. It's always been really important. So back in old school comics, there were these letter pages where you could write in a letter, and then the artist and the writer might write back to you in the letters page. And there were always conventions where you could go meet face to face. So a lot of that sort of interaction now is happening in the wider book world through like Twitter and stuff. Like Shannon Hale, constantly interacting with her
Readers.
Oh, speaking of Shannon Hale, have you read Real Friends? That's another book that's amazing.
She has.
It's so good. I feel like that book like blew my mind. I never knew it was so complicated to be a girl.
Really,
it was
really
like
complicated
shocking to me. It was
be
like,
a-
oh my gosh.
But you know what? The best part about it is being written by Shannon Hale, whose voice is so like witty and sharp.
Yes.
And like she came to a book party that I was at one time, and she like danced all night, and I was like, gosh, she's fun.
Yeah.
She's just like a big old time.
Yeah.
Love her.
She's really sweet.
She's really sweet, really kind. So there's one thing you want to leave with your readers. What is it that besides
Oh, are we
that
not?
you
Are we
suck
not?
at Uno?
Wait. The statement was that Uno sucks. It wasn't that I suck at Uno.
It's Uno's fault.
Yeah, yeah.
Uno did it.
One thing that I want to leave with readers, well, speaking personally, I feel really grateful that I get to do the job that I do.
Yeah.
When I started in comics, it was the 90s, and at the time there was no merging between the comic book market and the book market. They were still really separate. And the comic book market was kind of imploding. I don't know if you remember this, but like Marvel Comics had declared bankruptcy. And they just thought, man, they thought comics was just going to completely collapse. So to go from there, when I got in, I was just like, I'm never going to make a full-time living at this. This will just be something I do for fun. And to go from there to here, where people know what graphic novels are, where you can, my local library has a better collection of graphic novels than my local comic book store. That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
It's
That's
nuts.
amazing.
It's
Great
nuts.
library,
Yeah, so to go from that world to this, I just feel so grateful. I feel amazingly grateful.
It's like comics were like the comeback kid.
Yeah, totally, 100%. Yeah.
Someone should write a story, kind of like Forrest Gumpish, right? But where the main character, his name's Sean Patrick, right? But he is actually comics. He is the embodiment of comics and his like comeback journey. That sounds like a really complicated plot line.
So there's something like that. I mean, well, Cavalier and Clay has bits of that, right?
Yeah.
Has bits of that. And then there's another book done by Sunny Liu that's amazing. It's sort of tangential to that idea. Okay. It's called The Art of Charlie Chan Hock Chai. Sunny Liu is from Singapore, and what he decided to do was he decided to tell the entire history of Singapore, the last 100 years, through the fictional, like the life of this fictional cartoonist. And he does this crazy thing where every time he switches decades, he switches art styles. Depending on...
What is the name of this?
Depending on,
we have to go get this today.
It's amazing. Depending on what kind of comics was most popular in Singapore during that decade.
That is really
so
cool.
there's a part where it looks like American comic strips. There's a part where it's like manga. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so good. Yeah, The Art of Charlie Chan Hock Chai.
Guys, I'm Kim.
This is,
and we've been hanging out with
Jean, but we're not finishing.
We're not finishing.
Oh.
No, this game is dumb.
But I win.
You kind of do. Congratulations.
Thanks for playing with us, though.
Thank you for playing us. And you guys, thanks for watching. And Jean Yang just dropped some gems on you. I hope you picked them up.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to your event. So
yeah, me too. It'll be great.
It's gonna be fun.
It'll be fun.
Till next time.
Till next time. The end.
The end.
All right.
That was a lot of fun.